to me that I may not have formally shared what I think Donald Trump and General Flynn are trying to pull off right now as I type. But so let me do so. Anyways, I'm sure others likely have done so somewhere similarly. Trump is sitting on massive power, waiting for the right moment. Yes, he could have tried to engage the wrongdoing forcefully from the very beginning. At best, he would have won a minimal victory. Even now, for instance, people keep insisting Jeff Sessions screwed him over. We've talked about Sessions. Many times I told you he was a whipping post by design, and he was part of a play. He was part of a plan. He says Jeff Sessions screwed Trump. The Jeff Sessions screwed Trump over theory is totally ignorant of this political fact. Sessions denied them that which they needed most, a plausible obstruction of justice claim. They didn't need proof at all. Impeachment is a political process, not a criminal one. That alone is how they prevented an obstruction of justice, because they would have said that Trump was being protected by Sessions. It's an obstruction of justice. And again, this is not a criminal process. It's a political one. So they obviously made it political because they had no crimes they could charge Trump with, but yet they impeached him anyways. Shifty Schiff, bug-eyed Schiff. But because prejudice against Southern white males is totally permissible in the mainstream media, impeachment and conviction of Trump was far more likely had Jeff not recused. No matter what Trump strategically tweeted. Knowing this, Trump wisely used Jeff as a whipping post. He screamed and he shouted on Twitter how wrong he had been done. Confusion to the enemy. You'll have a hard time proving I'm wrong on this, no matter what Trump strategically tweeted. Similarly, General Flynn. The two of them and others devised a battle plan for Trump's first administration designed to unmask the fakers and the bottom bitches who sold out the nation for coin. Priority number one was to avoid conviction of crimes and misdemeanors. Mission accomplished. What he's saying, they didn't want these people to get light sentences on lighter criminal activity. They want to nail these bastards on treason. All strategic. Remember, this is a military precision operation, top to bottom. Priority number two seems to have been to get as much done as possible for the good of the nation during the entirety of your time in office, first term, as humanly possible given your determined opposition. Mission accomplished. Priority number three, IMHO, was the midterms. Go back and read Executive Order 13848 on imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States election, issued September 12, 2018. Here's that executive order. There's a section I wanted to read. I, Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, find that the ability of persons located in whole or in a substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in the United States elections, including through the unauthorized accessing of election and campaign infrastructure or the covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation, constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and the foreign policy of the United States. Although there has been no evidence of a foreign power altering the outcome of or vote tabulation in any United States election, foreign powers have historically sought to exploit America's free and open political system. In recent years, the proliferation of digital devices and internet-based communications has created significant vulnerabilities and magnified the scope and intensity of the threat of foreign interference, as illustrated in the 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment. I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with this threat. And it goes on to say, I want to go down to all of those. Section 2, where can I find Section 2? Section 2A, all property and interest in property that are in the United States that hereafter come within the United States or that are or hereafter come within the possession or control of any United States person of the following persons are blocked and may not be transferred, paid, exported, withdrawn, or otherwise dealt in. Any foreign person determined by the Secretary of Treasury in consultation with the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Homeland Security to have directly or indirectly engaged in, sponsored, concealed, or otherwise been complicit in foreign interference in a U.S. election, to have materially assisted, sponsored, or provided financial, material, or technological support for, or goods or services to, or in support of any activity described in Section 1A of this section, or any person whose property and interests in property are blocked pursuant to this order, or to be owned or controlled by, or to have acted or purported to act for, or on behalf, directly or indirectly, any person whose property or interests in a property are blocked pursuant to this order. Basically, what this says is anybody on any level in or out of this country, foreign power, U.S. corporations, big tech CEOs, both personal and business, you're going to lose all of your shit. All of it. It's all going to be taken away. Most of these clowns knew these executive orders were signed. What we learned is once Trump signed an executive order that went into effect in early 2018, any of these people involved in these crimes, they're going to lose everything. And when this executive order was dropped and it went active, I believe it might have been January 1st, 2018, that began a mass exodus of CEOs, board chairmen, corporate chieftains all over the planet, all over the place. One of the first notable ones that resigned was Eric Schmidt of Google right away. Why? Because they showed us pictures of this guy in North Korea setting up servers for the Kim Jong-un North Korean army government. They got pictures of them. There's a number of them. The former Secretary of Energy and Governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson. Folks, they got the pictures. Just like they had the photographs they dropped on the boards back in April 2018. There's John McCain meeting with al-Baghdadi, the founder and commanding general of ISIS, and his top three generals in multiple meetings. They sent private contractors in there shadowing this bastard, this traitor, and they got him. That's why Trump always said they got the 5 top commanders of ISIS or leaders of ISIS, the ISIS leadership. Well, there's only 4. No, he included McCain as number 5. This is going to be the stuff that just puts people in a psychiatric ward when they get to see it all. Anyways, go back and read the executive order immediately following it, 13849, issued on September 20, 2018, authorizing the implementation of certain sanctions set forth in the Countering of America's Adversaries through Sanctions Act. Again, they'll sanction the shit out of everybody involved in these foreign countries. When you shut off the blood supply to these people, get a hand around their throat economically, believe me, people start to talk. Because if the citizens get restless, guess what they start doing? They start going after leadership. So JB says, foreign interference, get it? Picture Donald Trump and his warriors just sitting back in the cut, observing how these dumbasses do what they do. Under what authority? FISA warrants. Imagine that. The FISA warrants that they have used to spy on Trump. Again, ammunition teed up with all these corrupt people, all these approved by the deep state criminal, John Roberts, U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice. All roads lead back to this guy. So now the FISA warrants are allowing these people to legitimately use the awesome tools of the federal government to surveil, track, record, and discover the criminal networks. Again, mission accomplished. This is what Trump and the military folks have been doing under the radar, at ground level, in the weeds, so it can't be seen, so they can set this whole thing up for a complete decapitation of this entire criminal power structure. This midterm work dovetailed with the work undertaken by the task forces originally set up by Jeff Sessions. John Durham and his team, John Huber and his team, damn, what they may have been publicly released. May have been, confusion to the enemy. So everything these guys are releasing, confusing the enemy, confuse. Sun Tzu's Art of War. Then the globalists and the Chinese and the Democrats and the media come up with all this bullshit virus pandemic designed to crash the world economy and usher in an irreversible new world order. But a chief executive with an army of spies, public and private, was ready. Now might be a good time for you to go read Elizabeth Goiton's January 2019 article in The Atlantic fully to understand what the left wing desperately wants you to ignore, the alarming scope of the president's emergency powers. And I don't want to take the time to go read it. I read it today. Again, I told you, these people put enormous power in the hands of the executive branch because they knew they were going to have it under the witch and they were going to unleash it on you. It says, what did Elizabeth acknowledge? From seizing control of the internet to declaring martial law, President Trump may legally do all kinds of extraordinary things. My. He is, as I noted, sitting on massive power, waiting for the right moment. By waiting for the maximum impact, Trump had a magnificent plan ready to go, ready to drain the swamp. But the globalists gave 45 an unimaginable gift. Now, not only has he caught them all domestically, he's captured the whole freaking global network of bullshitters. So he now gets to destroy the municipal criminal machines that engaged in this election theft, and he gets to destroy our punk-ass legislators, state and federal, currently unmasking themselves. And that's not the best part of it. Coming right back, I hit part of the thread. I want to finish that up. Because of their desperate duplicity, Donald John Trump, with his army of lawyers and spies, now gets to also destroy the globalist corporations and their bottom bitch enablers who have completely exposed themselves and their tactics. Yes. Let it be so. It is a known fact Americans thrive in chaos. So as Sidney Powell indicated, the Kraken has been released. And that, of course, is the 305th Military Intelligence Battalion. And he finishes up, says, Florida boys familiar with a certain wild rumble on the water know what I'm about to say. Let the big mother effer eat. He says it out, spelled Southern style. Let the big mother effer eat. Beautiful black sky. Anyway, so